And then just like that, Remen leaves the conversation, never hear from again.
The pizza in Connecticut is much better than in New York. I'm just saying.
Does it have to be a competition?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
They
Does it
actually,
though?
just so you know, it not only doesn't have to be a competition, it is a competition because they've been rated number 1. So it's hands down.
Suck it, Dom.
First off, who's rating it number 1?
Like Zagat's.
Oh God. Okay. A bunch of
Zagat's.
No.
No, but they won a couple of contests.
Let me tell you something, pal.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Unfortunately, it was the White Clam pizza that won, but I'm not gonna fault.
Listen,
You know.
if
Okay,
no
yeah, we
one
can-
on
we
that
can-
judging panel had a vowel in the end of the name, it doesn't matter.
What is that supposed to mean?
They weren't Italian.
Oh, come on.
All right.
Sip.
And by the
All
way,
right,
just so you guys know, that's where pizza was invented, and anybody tells you otherwise is lying.
I like Remen.
Connecticut pizza's better. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Overachievers Gaming Podcast, the Marvel Strike Force Insider Edition, number 15. I am your host, Vash, joined as always by Dami Ashi Pastrami and Chef Crondo, who's hailing us on his vacation. What's up, guys? Joining us this week is Remen X from what's the clan? You know, I told you to ask you what clan.
The clan name is whatever the latest Fox Next mistake has been. So right now we are currently 10 free gold credits. So
That's great.
I just want to make sure you guys know that it's a little bit there.
Nice.
Yeah. So are you guys, just so you guys, I think Hotchner Headshot asked a really good question. Is this going to be available? Are you guys archiving the videos on Twitch?
We're not. That's a good question. We probably will archive
Do you
it, but
do
we
the save video after stream?
We do save the video automatically, or we do automatically archive it after the stream. So essentially what we do is we make this available. We have this, obviously this is a podcast, so you'll be able to listen to it again later.
I hope you listen to it again later.
And then we have, it'll be also on YouTube with the podcast audio and graphics and all that fun stuff. But I don't know about the video. I might take out the, I might edit it a little bit to what we're doing, although we don't really do a ton of editing on the podcast. So. Yeah, most likely yes. This will be available later, so I'll download it.
It'll be like in the video section of the stream, but also please
pick a nose like this. So.
Pick. Hey, it's a free country. Last time I checked,
you can't get 2 fingers up there. You're not in my category. You're not in my league, buddy.
God, 2 fingers.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I got that Irish nose. I'm sorry.
Dang.
I have that. Anyway,
I got a pencil nose.
Thanks you guys for joining us this week. This is going to be a short podcast. We're not going to have a whole lot to talk about. There's really
Very
nothing going on.
Eventful last little bit.
It's like a 20-minute podcast.
It's probably going to be that. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys in 2
real
weeks.
quick. If there was never a reason before this for Fox Next to hate this podcast, I'm pretty sure this will be the one.
This is going to be the one.
And just so I'm clear,
say whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to kind of go over the actual response that Dismal had put up. And going to go over that
while we're talking.
Yeah. Personally, I've read what Dismal has put up. I read out what Cerebro's put up. He pretty much just rewrote what the last update said, which very tight. I don't know. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting response on Fox Next part. Obviously, for those, if you've living under a rock in terms of this game and listening to us as a podcast and what this episode is going to be about, there's been a large collective of the community. What is it, up to 400 alliances or some shit? Do you guys remember?
A lot more than that. A lot more have been signing on. A lot more individuals have been talking about it, and it's really had a broad reach.
When Dismal post, I think it said it was 15,000 people that are playing.
So we have this large collective of people that are very upset. Obviously, two largest clans, arguably they are Legion of Hulk and Panther Hulk and Legion Cabal. Thank you so much.
Legion of Hulk.
It's 8 a.m.
They had a baby, and now they're Legion of Hulk.
Hey, you know what? They came together for once, so maybe there's a Legion of Hulk. Maybe this will make something new here. But came together and decided that enough was enough. Things got to change. First, there was the rumblings of a boycott, but we're in what everyone has agreed upon to be a spending freeze, specifically with stuff like Cyclops and stuff. Huge write up, huge response. A lot of people into it. Not many people as we could see, not into it. I was watching a stream with Casinos. He had some argument points, but he even was into it. You know, many people like to call him the Fox Next shill, but
Nobody more than himself.
nobody more than himself. Exactly. So I think that a huge response from the community, and we finally do have a response from the team, which again, I don't know. I don't want to speak for the whole group here, but it was another one of those things are coming, things are happening. We're doing that thing, never with a time, never with a specific what.
Well, there's some
that thing-
times.
Oh, like what weeks? I think it said like in the next coming weeks you'll hear about this.
There were some months, and there were some. So let's just So I want to just say that the biggest message I have is it's a start, and and Fate's pretty much said it'll end when we say it ends. But we're far from there, and you're 100% right that the language that was used was very specifically vague.
Oh yeah. Which, from a marketing standpoint, you sometimes have to be that, which a lot of people
I get it.
Give a lot of people give them shit for that, but also at the same time, they could, there are things that they could be more specific about what times, right? It would very nice to have a calendar. It would be very nice to have things like that. But yeah, sure. It's a start. Yeah.
Dude, that entire post read as one giant canned response for me. They had that thing typed, ready to go. Like,
well, of course, yeah. I mean, when you're a company, like you got it, like you have to. 100%.
I know, but the thing is that it's indicative of the fact that all this stuff has been in the pipeline, and they're just like, I've said it in the past, but like they can't, like I've been saying, they just need to dangle it in front of us. Well, they waited until people like Dismal and Fates organized a giant spending strike, and then they're like, oh. It's like, dude, why did it have to get to this point?
Was
like,
that your casting of a?
That was my casting sound.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But I just don't understand it because they're basically costing themselves a lot of money, and it's just it could have been easily avoided.
So we'll talk about that because I kind of question their decision because I come from a sales and marketing background. And
you question Fox Next decision?
No, yeah, and we'll talk. We'll start with what. So did you guys actually cover the Red Star gate at all?
We weren't a podcast when the actual Red Star gate happened, right, Charlie? That was before my time, even, right?
No, so this is specifically the gold promotion credit gate.
Oh, sorry. That happened in between.
Part 2.
Yeah. We could talk about that.
The Revenge of Fox Next.
Yeah. I think that literally happened like on a Tuesday or something like that. Like right
that
after we had
downtime. Yeah.
Yeah. So we essentially for this podcast we take a week off essentially. So we're bi-weekly with this podcast. We don't do a week at a time, just because busy and all that sort of stuff. And so yeah, that happened. So for those who didn't know, there was a $50 promotional credit thing where you can get 30K shards. So essentially gives you 15 Red Star orbs. And then 2 gold, essentially 10 gold promotional credits. We would be able to take 2 characters from 5 red stars to 6 red stars for $50. My assumption is that was supposed to be 10 silver ones, but not 6. And then a bunch of people bought it, and then they instantly pulled it because I was literally about to buy it, and then they had because I haven't spent really any money on this game since actually for a while now. I didn't buy Karnak, didn't buy Cyclops, didn't buy any of these offers coming out, and so they had that whole thing happen. And then they're like, "Oh, sorry." That gives that was a major fuck up in my opinion because that was a big 6 red stars would give people a big advantage.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So they were gracious enough, and I say gracious enough. I mean, they realized their mistake, and they said, "Okay, we'll give it to everybody who logs in. We'll give you the 10 gold star upgrades or whatever, the tokens or whatever the hell we're calling them, and then as well as additional silver ones too." So that's what the login calendar is happening right now with everything. So anyway, yeah, that happened like last week, I think.
Something like that, right? Yeah.
So like it was odd because your damage was done, and we talk about like conversion rate, and I understand that there's some value that they intrinsically were going to take away from that gold promotion credit by leaving it up, but by saying, "Oh well, wait a minute, we gave you this offer," and to be clear, I talked to a lot of folks who never purchased from Fox Next before that instantly saw that value and said, "I'm buying that right now," and did.
Yeah, sure.
And now they probably won't buy from them again.
Yeah,
because even though the fact that they're getting that the 2 gold red stars that were extended to the community, that wasn't what the offer was supposed to be.
Sure.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
On both levels.
Like, I probably wouldn't have bought. Like for me, It's funny because as a free to play player, I wouldn't have bought that anyway. I'm getting value out of the calendar, so like
Yeah.
I'm not outraged by this whole scenario just because like this is just another chalk off to a mess up
Well,
of them and a hopeful like good thing for me. But I do understand that's super annoying. Of like it's like they dangled that and we're like, oh no, it was an accident. No, never mind. Sorry, that's a big buy. Like that was a big sale or
well,
offer.
you guys just so you guys know, everybody's getting about $170,000 worth of Red Stars if you purchase them. Because just so you know, nobody in Cabal, nobody in Pants of Hulk have more than 2 promotion credits they could have ever purchased because you have to get 6 Red Star dupes. So if you go in your
Yeah.
roster, you look at the number of 6
Yeah.
Red Stars you have, you had to duplicate them through a 6 Red Star Elite
Is that an actual number? 170 grand?
That is what I've been able to calculate, about 170,000 for that. You're welcome. What else
That
can I
seems like
say?
a fair system.
Dude, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's not normal.
No.
No.
But that's the inherent flaw.
Yeah,
With the
100%.
system is the fact that it's this trickle down. Oh, geez,
Yeah.
what a bad analogy. But yeah, a trickle down system where that juice you're squeezing out of that lemon is just coming out at a very dilute rate.
100%. And I think I totally did. You guys see there was that Red Star simulator on Reddit?
Yep.
I mean,
There were a couple
Still,
flaws.
I
with
still
that,
didn't
but
get a 7 red star.
it took me 3,500 opens to get a 7-star out of it.
I actually ironically didn't even know that there is a guaranteed 7 red star orb until I looked at the tab the other day and I was like, oh shit, this thing exists. Like,
I'll never get it though.
Wait, what do you
how
mean a
would you-
guaranteed 7 Red Star?
So if you get enough 6 Red Star duplicates, you can earn a 7 Red Star credit.
how salty would you be
Oh.
if you got one of those finally and you're like, all right, baby,
Yeah,
do this, man.
Ravager
you got one.
Bruiser.
Are you ready for it?
Ravager.
You guys don't even know. So you guys, if you guys don't know, I actually call the 6 Red Star Elite Orb the Ravager Bruiser Orb because I have opened 2 of them.
Get the
And
fuck
both
out of
of
here.
them were Ravager Bruisers.
Get out of here.
Oh my
God.
god.
What are the statistical what is that? What are the statistics on that?
There's
That has to be-
125 characters in the game, right? So
At the time, there were probably 105 and then 116, but it's, as far as the interval between when I pulled them. However, if you want to look at those odds, let's just say that they're astronomically high. And if you talk to other folks, they've had similar experiences with the units that they pulled from there.
Jesus.
it's crazy. How many?
So
How many have you opened actually? Like, have you kept track of how many like guaranteed 6s you've opened?
Guaranteed 6s, I've opened 2.
Okay.
Both
Guaranteed 5s, I've opened, I want to say 37.
Wow.
Okay. And
Ravager Bruiser.
and like red and the 4 Red Star, I think it's like something like 471.
Well, listen, man. At some point, Ravagers will be
oddly
top
specific.
tier, and you'll be set. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but to be honest, that's something that I think that I would like for like a pause. If I was going to say do one thing, Fox Next, take a pause, don't release any units, and balance the game, or at least tell us when you're going to do.
Right.
Because honestly, if you look at it, if you pull a 7 Red Star Stitcher as your first Red Star, how do you feel?
Oh, I have
Not
a friend of
great.
mine that happened actually.
Yeah. I
Me.
did get a 7 Red Star, my first one, my only one, and it's not the worst. It's a Kree cyborg, but it's not the
pretty
best,
good.
obviously.
I mean, I'm sorry,
But-
but he blasts. So I mean, like
he does
that's-
blast. He does
I mean,
blast.
Ravager Stitcher. Even
Yeah,
his
exactly.
sequel is lackluster, and that's his only
So
purpose.
with all that being said, with the red,
I
red
have
star stuff,
7 Red Stars, right?
yeah, what?
7 Red Stars,
That's like.
and I pulled 2 in the past week.
Oh wait, before we continue, what are we talking? Which ones?
So my 7 Red Stars are Sabretooth, Storm, Pyro,
Oof.
Jeez,
uh,
your brotherhood must be
Merc
beautiful.
Lieutenant. Let's
Sick.
see. Crystal, just got Crystal.
Wow.
Whoa.
Hawkeye. And I'm
Lines, man.
forgetting something important, but they're up
Hey,
there.
your brotherhood must be beautiful.
Oh yeah, they're like 500K.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as they should be. I would expect nothing. Yeah, they
100%.
should be. So I mean, yeah. So obviously, Red Star suck. The state of the game is a little funky, but I guess. So what did we? Yeah, I guess where do we go from here, right? What is everyone's thoughts on like? I'm gonna be real. If it wasn't for this podcast or my alliance or just the community at whole, I probably would just be done playing. I'm gonna be like realistically, and that's like the truest thing I've ever said on this podcast. I just don't have too much fun anymore. You know what I mean? Besides talking with my buds,
Yeah.
which is what this is, and then interacting with my, big shot MCU Legion. Thanks for everything. I probably would just been done by now, like straight up, So I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel.
I'm kind of in a similar boat. I mean, I know we kind of glossed over and skipped over a bunch of stuff in the beginning, but normally we do like a recap of everything, but I feel like this was good. So essentially, I had so I was in the MCU Mac Mansion, and the Mac Mansion completely
it's
collapsed
gone.
upon itself.
Right.
Is gone. It is no longer around. I currently hold on to I have an alt account that is holding on to the account as of right now, or onto the alliance as of right now, because we're thinking about rebuilding in a couple weeks. But so like my alliance is gone. Now I'm in MCU Avengers. Which is like the tier below, which is fine. Just like, but I'm used to a different type of a gameplay. I mean, this one's more a little bit more casual, which is great because, I'm in the process of buying
it's good for you. It's good now.
Yeah, with work and everything kind of being crazy. Still, now I'm doing. I think I've had like 1 or 2 scenes that I've been working on that I haven't been in. So it's just been like handheld the entire time. So which has been nuts.
But your back feels great.
Oh, dude, my back hurts so much. It's just ridiculous.
Are you easy rigging or are you just handheld?
No, I don't easy rig. You kidding me? We don't do that.
Sorry, this is a thing that helps you hold the camera like from a string. Essentially, it's like
Redmond, I work in the film industry, so I work on the TV show FBI. That's on CBS, and so we essentially
7 p.m. on
9 p.m. on Tuesdays, and then Most Wanted right
get
after.
those numbers up so we can make sure we're all gainfully employed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Still no word on season 3, but anyway, it actually, I mean, it's been good so that way I can like take a little bit of time off or not time off, but like not be so involved and and whatnot. But still, it's like I was
get yelled at for looking at your phone while you're in between shots.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yes,
is exactly. It's like a half 100%. Joke.
It's a half joke with some half truths to it.
Yeah.
But so it's been nice to be kind of down a little bit, but and not have to worry so much about it. But man, I tell you what, like that was disappointing to have the whole thing fall apart. So essentially, we had one person leave, we got one person kicked, and then all of a sudden the leader left, and then everybody just went from there. But then a lot of people were just. A couple people were upset about the state of the game, so a couple people quit the game entirely.
We've had 3 people leave ours,
and then we've had obviously some people just left because they weren't excited about what we were doing or whatever, and they wanted more hardcore players. And some people wanted to like not have as much hardcoreness to it. I guess they want to be a little bit more casual, not have so much time and commitment. So it's like this. I know this whole movement, the Fix MSF movement, is really here to like help bring everybody back together, because the reason why we are so upset about everything is because we all care about the game. Like that's the whole point of this. Like we enjoy the game. We wouldn't be playing it if we didn't enjoy the game. And just getting to a point, I think, and I don't know if you guys agree, but like it's getting to like a make or break kind of thing. It's like if these aren't going to get addressed, like what's the point of playing? So because otherwise it's just going to be like outside of like, oh, I've dumped X amount of dollars into the game and I just want to continue to enjoy my investment into the game and so on. So it's just interesting enough with everything that's happening. And then Remedy, I don't know, we didn't really cover I know a lot of people probably have seen the ramifications of what everybody has said, and we'll post links to like the Dismal and Fates' response, the dev response, and then their counteract to them, or their official response back to their official response. But Remedy, since you're kind of on the inside with it too, you just want to give us just a quick rundown, like in summary of what the initial like letter was
behind this. Why did this come? How did this happen?
Yeah, exactly. Like how did this happen? Yeah, and all that fun stuff.
So I think a lot of people are playing this game for the community. I don't think we're playing this game because we think that that we've been treated fairly and that we've been the game and the game at a design standpoint, it's actually a decent, fun game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a lot of fun. So what we've seen is a ton of attrition from the game, and from especially at the top level. And I say that from that probably that narrow view that I can sometimes have. But so what was happening was there was a ton of recruitment from Panzer Hulk, and there was a lot of stepping on toes between Cabal, and so there was almost like this pseudo competition between these two alliances where they were at each other's odds. And I've been in both clusters and have become friends with the leaders. And I was like, hey guys, guess what? That's not you guys. That's you marching to their drum.
Oh, 100%. They want that so bad.
So when you guys saw the U7 like points go up, and by the way, that was when I said, whoa, take a break. Just look at this. The reason why the U7 raid nodes points went up and the rewards didn't go up was because they wanted to make you compete for the season level. And it was so obvious at that point that it was just like that somebody was pulling some puppet strings.
Yeah.
That and Hofstra, yes, quite a few people are playing because of the sunk cost fallacy. So there's a lot of people out there like talking about that. But that isn't the only thing. It's most people are playing because they like the people they play with. They feel like there's a loyalty.
100%.
And the community. I have fun with the people I play with. I have fun talking to people about the game and teaching people how the game, but I can't recommend it to my friends.
It's so true.
I can't bring other people
Agreed.
in. So that's like so when I think Tony Scangili and I talk about that a lot, and if you visited my stream, you probably hear me talk about that I can't in good faith say, hey, come on, check this game out. It's awesome.
It's such a bummer. It really is.
And
I have friends. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't even imagine what the starting experience is like in this game.
I'll tell you. So I have two friends that recently got into it, and they'll like mess me every once in a while, like, dude, what do I do now? And I'm like, just keep farming defenders until you can do anything, I guess. Sorry,
well,
bud.
I'm gonna say probably you can stop saying defenders because they're so obsolete now. You may want to say guardians and get
I get
the defenders counter the aim team.
Yeah, I guess I still think real quick. I guess in terms of just getting to like the smallest thing doable, and that's one thing I think of to tell them, because that is probably the easiest free to do thing. Still, I guess.
And what's vital about that is so when this idea kind of formulated, it wasn't going to be like, hey, this is the whales perspective.
Yeah.
Fates took a lot of time to kind of get everybody's perspective, because Legion isn't just Cabal,
which I think that was very good on
Fates. Dismal have been a very good, because they represent quite a few alliances and quite a few members.
Yeah,
and I would say they represent a large portion of
this game.
Well, I mean, just their influence is huge, right? And so the fact that they're upset about it should really raise flags to them, because they're the ones that are spending the most amount of money on the game. And not only that,
they have multiple salaries. They support multiple salaries easly.
Definitely, dude.
So I, at its core, there's a lot of those frustrations that it feels like, with the character release, I'm not going to name names, but we watched, a couple of high profile players leave because of the character cadence.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they felt like it was a constant drain on their personal resources, which is money. So let's talk about it. The basic core of this is you can either spend time or money to progress in the game. All right. The fact that you can spend a certain amount of time, but unless you spend money, you can't get to a certain point, is part of the core problem that we find in the game. And so when that is the value of the items far exceeds the time that most people can spend, you lose those people. And then you're also putting an amazing strain on the top. So again, one of the things you're going to say is, I am the advocate that if you're going to present a problem, you need to present the solution. So I think that's what everybody behind this process came up with, is here are some solutions long-term for us to really come to the table, sit down, and want to buy again. Because right now, you're not getting a dime from us.
Yeah. And it seems like so far they've kept to their word, like the specific, like the organizers, I guess, Fates does not have a 7 red star Cyclops, I believe, right? I mean,
no.
Yeah.
No, and by the way, people have pulled 7 red stars on Cyclops. They still have no gold stars on them.
Gold star. Sorry. Yeah. I meant,
no, that's fine. It's okay. We get it. Yeah. But the thing about it is, so our brag posts are every day, because, there's quite a few people out there that are like, I kind of want them.
Yeah.
Because that's what we've been kind of trained to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys talk about this at all, but one of the other problem there is that there's a gambling element to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
We definitely talked about that.
So people don't acknowledge that. Like, and I'm not going to name names, but yeah, That
No, it
is
is. Actually, we had on Mystic Mac forever ago. I think that was the first time we talked about it because he talked about him and how he's always had like this like draw to gambling, and like when he first started playing the game, he was like, "Oh, I'm gambling. This is great," and it's like, "Oh no, I'm gambling." You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
right.
And that's part of the reason why
It's
I
great.
quit.
Oh no, I'm
yeah,
gambling.
exactly.
Oh no,
Exactly.
yes.
And you're right that isn't really talked about because we're playing a game, right? And I think that we also talked about legislation that has been it's like always come up on the floor, but it's never gonna no one gives a shit really.
So it's actually just to be clear, it's actually been passed.
It had, oh,
It
okay.
it's been
When I was
passed
talking to Hawaii?
to the actual. Geez, I forgot that. It's good morning. So my brain hasn't started.
Yeah.
And not enough caffeine has been filling my veins here.
100%.
But it's actually been to the actual committee that's in charge of it. So
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, that's good.
they're reviewing it again. It's not Dead's legislator. However, there are more important things happening in Washington D.C. right now, and so unfortunately, that's probably been tabled for a little while. However, other countries have really been proponents of this. So between that and the real element of all that. So I don't know if you guys know that. So Mobile Gamer put out a video about, and this is my fault, 100%. And I'll tell you, it's my fault about the predatory algorithms that are out there that have been designed for it.
Yeah.
So there are 13 of them were owned by Kabam and Aftershock. So if you know the history of this game, it kind of draws some conclusions.
Doesn't
Yeah, I
surprise
can-
me.
Not
Interesting.
surprised. Yeah.
So yeah, if you ever go down that rabbit hole, you can put your tinfoil hats on and come and hang with me, and we can go down that rabbit
Wait,
hole.
real quick, can we talk about my favorite tinfoil theory right now? I don't believe it because I think too much thought went into between Dismal and Fates, but there's the tinfoil that Panther Hulk and Legion of Cabal are in cahoots with Foxnix to get this going or something for some stupid reason.
Yeah, no,
What?
it's obvious. Because they want to lose money from people who joining on this and saying they hate the game, and people
Right.
leaving. It's not like whole alliances are collapsing. Nobody had that experience this
Oh.
week.
No,
I can
not at
certainly
all.
disprove that theory because I personally know Dismal, so I know.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I know it's bullshit, but
Yeah.
I saw that post up I'm sure it was on Reddit or something, of course, where all the best ideas and thoughts come together.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause anonymity is it's a great thing, especially
of a
for
drug.
posts. Yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah.
there's a lot of tinfoil hats
course.
that go on that. And what I'm going to say to you is the core of the message that I'm going to deliver over and over again is it's a start. The communication that they had, I appreciate it. I looked at it through a lens of, oh boy, this is almost like politician spin language.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh
when
yeah.
they say there's going to be a path to farmability, I'm like, Ultimus Orbs, please don't do that.
Yeah.
No,
Well, so
because-
let's talk about that.
That's what it translated to me. I was like,
Right.
They didn't clarify. That's the thing. They've left it open for us for interpretation.
Let's talk about specifically the path to farmability. They talked about adding in unfarmable characters in a rotation, right? That was their Jesus, why is it so hard? That was their plan. That's their upcoming plan, right?
their roadmap.
The roadmap, yes. A rotation of unfarmable characters to be put in. So the question is, what was it? Every month we'd have a new farmable character, right?
Two.
Or two.
Two.
One or
One
two.
to two.
It's subject to change.
Okay.
But-
Is
and
that
it was caveat emptor,
right?
subject to change?
Do we think that is good enough?
No.
No, not at all.
Not if they're releasing 4, then we're
Exactly.
going to be historically 2
Exactly.
behind every
Yeah.
month, and that tends to, become an exponential problem.
Right.
Each month that goes down, we're farther behind. And with looking at like the most recent Black Bolt release, with the lack of
Ooh.
so let's be clear, there might have been people behind the scenes that had information because of the access they were given to Foxnext that knew that what was going to happen, and maybe they didn't because I'm not sure people knew Spider-Verse was going to be the unlock for Invisible Woman until they decided that was the least selling meta team that they released.
Oh my
And they're
god,
like,
that's brilliant.
Well, that's it. I called it months before. I'm like, it's going to be Spider-Verse. Why? Because they suck. That's it.
Nobody bought their offers or
Nobody
farm
bought
yet.
their offers. Let's
Exactly.
create some chaos and plan.
Oh my god, how did I not think about that?
It's 100% right.
100%.
So when we're looking at all these things, we can really say, and we don't. And I want to make sure we understand. I don't hate the company running it. I think that there's some direction and there's some good people that work there, and some of the, I just think that some of the design elements, and it's permeating through the gaming industry.
Mhm. Oh,
All right.
100%.
So I don't want to just say it's Fox
Yeah.
Next, but this is a game that I've invested some time, money, and energy into. I don't want to
Say
see
the
it go
least.
anywhere because I enjoy playing this with my friends. So let's try to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
But loot boxes are permeating everywhere. We're seeing, incomplete games, early access games that never really go full access. We're seeing a lot of different predatory elements where they're just
Blizzard.
yes.
Super true, man.
But there's also games that are kind of also free to play who have these kind of methods and all these kind of things built into them who don't have this predatoriness to them
Right.
that are doing very well. Like,
Do we think that like because the game is so popular that it's this predatory? Because I mean,
Or is it-
I get it. They're a mobile game. They have to make money. I do get it. I want that to be said. But like it is genuinely predatory, right? It is like
oh, yeah.
being free to play is hard. It is hard to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's some elements of it that are good for the free to play players, but most of it is just if you want something and access it in a relatively reasonable manner, you can't do it without spending any
Yep.
money.
I just think that once they know that they have everybody hook, line, and sank, yeah,
So-
something like that. They just
Dunk.
yeah, it's
Pink
early coffee. But no, but they it's like they know,
Trooper.
right? So
Right.
they see a weakness and they're just exposing it, which is
And I don't blame
goes
anyone
no
for
we
buying.
don't blame anyone.
You
But
know, like
listen,
spend
if you
money.
got
It's your money, but
if you got the money to spend it, that's fine. But what you're talking about, Remen, is the predatory thing. Is like they
Right.
know that they're fucking people over, but they just go with it anyways because who's going to stop them? Why should they stop? They're just
If people
People are
are
gonna
still
buy it.
buying the offers or people still spending the money, then there's absolutely no reason for them to stop.
exactly.
And I think that's the part of the reason why this movement has become okay. Let's pump the brakes here, guys. All right. Let's hashtag don't buy Scotty.
Yep.
All right. Let's be realistic that there is an inherent problem with the fact that we're watching people just disappear.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying, and I think it's accurate. About 30% of the top 100 players have inactive accounts, and inactive in other ways. You could use your imagination and
Right,
what's
right.
happening to them.
Mhm.
But because we've all seen accounts change hands or whatever.
Right.
So, it's become a problem.
Yeah, which is sad because like we said, we enjoy the game. We wouldn't be here and having these conversations if we didn't enjoy it. And if everybody was just like, you know what, fuck this, we're done, everyone would just quit and that'd just be the end of it. But like we want to see the change done, not because of like the fallacy of having spent money on the game or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, it's like we enjoy it. We want change. That's the whole reason why we're here. And there's a lot of people who's like, oh, well, everyone's so entitled and blah, 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 blah. They don't realize that like, unless we say and do something,
Mhm.
everything's just going to stay the same. And that's what this movement really is like. And I've said this on multiple Discords and whatnot. So it's like, we as a consumer, the only voice we have is our dollars. And so like, if you want change, make your voice heard, don't spend and say why you're not spending. If you don't care, go ahead, spend away. But in the end,
Yeah, nobody's gonna tell you that you can't spend your money.
yes, but in the end, like it is
don't.
your it is your dollars. It is your money. You can do with it however you want. But if you want to see change, that's the whole point of this movement.
I think that's the perfect way to put it. Is like if you're still playing the game, yes, you worked for it, you've earned it. Spend the money the way you want to, but if you want things to change, be with us, right?
Yes, that just use your dollars as your voice because that's the only real power you have for a game like this, as well as just not playing the game, but like you can still play the game if you want to. But I think like not having them log in.
So to be clear, that's another possibility is not logging in.
Yeah,
That's something that we're probably going to encourage it down the road here. Is take a day off.
Didn't Dismal say that he's going to try to coordinate something like that, like a no login day?
So yeah, and one of the things I don't want to get ahead of all the messages here. I mean, obviously we're digesting the communication. That we understand it's a weekend. We understand that Monday's another day, and I don't want to sit there and slap a hand that's reaching out, right, and say it's not enough. I'm not going to let that drown. At the same point in time, I want to make sure that the message is loud and clear. Ignore the clickbait you're seeing on YouTube. Ignore the fact that people are saying the boycott's over. The reality of it is it's not over until we say it's over.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a clear announcement that's saying, hey, listen, we're happy with these changes. We're happy with the roadmap. We're happy with the communication. And it's not going to happen overnight. So it's a start. It is far from over.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've gone through, and there's still a lot of things that we're still gathering from the community that people want to see.
Yep. Yeah.
So
let's talk about specifically the post that Cerebro had, which now, of course, I lost it, but because he went into a little more stuff outside of just like that, the update they put out. Is there anything in there that to you guys, there was one thing for me that I thought was actually pretty cool. Anything in there to you guys that stood out like, okay, this is okay. This is cool.
I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in there, but the drawback is I kind of took it through a line because when it came out, so it came out, I was going online to stream at midnight. I popped it on early. I had Chewburger and Tony Scangili and Wolverthor and I all hopped in Discord and went live, and we talked about, kind of how to digest this, because there was we call it the shit sandwich.
Sure.
There's good things, there's bad things, and pardon my language. I don't know if you guys have language requirements.
Oh,
here.
definitely not.
I just want to make sure because
if I'm involved, dude, no.
That was the stipulation to getting him in.
I feel like I'm on the Brady Bunch when they break this down. Here's the story.
Yeah, right.
So I when you split these screens. So for what stood out from us was some of the inherent vaguity,
sure,
the inherent language that was utilized. That was, to be clear, there aren't a lot of dumb people that can spend tens of thousands of dollars on the game. So if you guys think whales are dumb, just be realistic. They're not dumb. We work in industries where this language is very familiar to us. We get when people are placating us. We get it. We get when you're like, hey, you guys want an apple pie? Here's a cookie.
Right. Exactly.
So, so it's not like I sat there and I saw some really good things there, and I love the communication. And typically I've got no problem with Cerebro. He was very responsive to me the week when I brought up some of the Black Bolt issues that we were having, some of the bugs that we were discovering.
Sure.
But it wasn't a widespread community thing because not a lot of people got him in the community. So, I don't think people were recognizing that he was failing in war.
Yeah.
Because, if you kill Hela, if you kill Hela with Black Bolt and her minion spawns, because it does it out of order. So if Greg spawns, it freezes.
Oh,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So that was one issue. There's some issue with the raid where he wasn't coughing and killing people.
Coughing and killing. Oh, that's great.
Oh, did I miss that? Is that what that happened?
Yeah. So that he would literally not kill some people that were on there.
Oh God.
That's amazing. I'm gonna start using that from now on. Coughing.
Well, yeah, it's not mine. I didn't trademark that, but it's something we
that's hilarious.
It's awesome.
Because that's what he does. Essentially, Dom, whenever somebody gets below 25% health into the red, essentially is when he just either yells at them and they die, or as this point, he said cough.
That's so perfect.
Thank
you so much for that. See, I would know that if I could have the character.
Well,
I mean, we've said it before that Black Bolt is essentially the most pay-to-win legendary unlock there was. So,
and he's changed the landscape of the arena, changed the landscape of the raid, and he is he is one of the units I took from 5 red star to 6 red star in immediate.
Right.
Oh yeah, I only have him at 4.
Well, so I'll say that's when the Black Bolt thing was when. There's been some stuff that has always rubbed me the wrong way, but nothing that was ever like, you know what I mean? Like, as a free-to-play player, it's never been like enough for me to actually question my time put in this game. Mm-hmm. Because I'll always get it. I don't mind waiting. I don't mind waiting months to get a character. But then, like, even with Phoenix and Ultron, I'm finally about to get them. I've been playing for a year now. Like, I'm finally about to be there. I don't mind it. It's been a fun road to get to this point. But I don't think I'll ever be able to get to Black Bolt at the way it stands. Like without any, because that's the thing with Phoenix. I know if I farm these very low, would you say?
Laser focus.
Exactly. with Phoenix Ultron, I know if I slowly build these characters that I can obtain, I will get
Mhm.
them. It'll take a long
Yeah.
time. Clearly, it's been a year. But with Black Bolt, I have no guarantee that even in a year I could get Black Bolt at
So,
all.
so I think that's interesting because I sometimes miss the free to play perspective. It's refreshing to see because so we go back to Magneto was really one of the first big meta team releases where
Mhm.
they introduced them, but they communicated how they were going to do it, the time frame. If you go right back to the Magneto release, it was all very communicated and very articulated, so you knew what to expect and how to get him, and that you had to place high in certain blitzes, and through the event, if you didn't get him at certain stars, you weren't going to get Magneto.
Mhm.
All right. That didn't happen with Black Bolt because I think there was a transition. And maybe it was part of the scope we purchased. Maybe they weren't sure what was going to happen. And that their foot's been kind of, pumping the gas and going on the pedal and trying to figure out how to, manipulate the money they're making in the
Exactly.
system.
Yep.
So I kind of give them the benefit of that doubt. But it's clear that some of the promises they made, for instance, for you, if you're farming Phoenix, how good is the Mystic Controller team?
Right.
Because they made a commitment that they would never release another legendary team or legendary unlock that required a team that sucked balls.
Sure.
Yeah.
They basically, I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
Yeah. No, but you're not wrong.
Maybe in the future they'll have a different Guardian release that requires Ravagers, and their Bruiser will be great.
The hope is at some point, every character should be good in this game, right? Obviously, as a team, they'll be better, but like there should be a hope that like metas are it's all very roundabout and it's like however you use it in Theorycraft and all that stuff, blah 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 blah. So like, but yeah, like that's like why having it physically hurts having to dump time and resources into a hand assassin, right? Like that sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or
Ronan,
no, like
decent.
Ronan, dope, love it. I have him at like 6 red
But they
star,
reworked him.
5 red star. Exactly, they reworked him. Yeah,
they reworked him after the Fury release. The first Fury release was you guys got to get the Kree team that was crappy.
Absolute crap.
You got to get them up.
Yeah,
and that was when where we was like, what am I going to use these guys for?
I mean, they were terrible. Like, I would say they were on par with like a mercenary team or a Ravager team.
No. Ravager's still bottom barrel. But
well, there's not even 5 Ravagers, so it's like you can't even have the team.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So it's not even a team. So like, yeah. So I mean, like that was when I first was actually upset with the Black Bolt, and then it seems like that was like my domino, right? It's slowly.
Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of us are taking some of the communication they have and saying, well, we've heard this before, Fox Next, and you kind of recanted, and walked back some of what you've kind of said. So yeah, it's a start.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Sorry I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, absolutely not.
But it's interesting that like they had the whole candid blog post was like, well, we were going to save this for later, but we're going to release it now because of the community response. Like I will have to say, like even the content aside for what they said, the fact that they went through and outlaid everything that's coming, it's like it felt like this is what we wanted. Just tell us what's coming. Like it's not hard to like say, hey, like it's just customer relations. Like, hey, here's here's what's coming to us. Like here's a preview of a PvP thing. That's cool. Guess what? I'm going to stick around more to play that.
That's literally all I want. That's my biggest thing. I just want
tell us
exactly. And someone brought up. I think it was actually Dismal when we were talking last. Like I said, why don't we just have a calendar? Why is there an official calendar out? Like I have to go to Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I have to go to Reddit to see like, oh, here's what it's been in the past, and like it's fairly accurate. Someone predicted Shuri, and Shuri's coming, whatever. But
well, I mean, somebody predicted it, but there were quite a few other predictions out there, so it just happened
to
be
right. Exactly.
I could say it's Phoenix, Phoenix Star-Lord, or
totally,
or Fury, and I'm going to be right.
Yeah. And the response was, if they told us who was coming, then the offers we would be able to farm that beforehand, and the offers that they put out wouldn't be bought as much. Which
they would be, or they would have been bought more,
or they would have been bought. You don't know. Exactly.
They're inherently causing some of their own financial problems in my mind by not giving us a roadmap and making it clear. Because the people who were like, I'm not quite sure I'm sold on Hela, probably would have gotten Hela
100%.
if they part of the unlock for Black Bolt, which we already knew was going to be the Ultron Devastator.
Yeah,
you already
honestly,
know it.
Yeah,
people would have spent the money. I mean,
I probably would have spent the money on Hella. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I probably would have bought Hella because I'd rather level up Hella than Hand Assassin.
well, not
like,
only
straight
that,
up.
they turn around. Gosh, not
So
only-
they would have converted you from a non-free to play. So that conversion rate that we talk about, they would have gotten you.
Almost certainly, I would have dumped some money to get Hella up big. I also really like the Asgardian team, which right now they sit at 30K for me. So
Decent.
yeah, exactly. They're great as a war defense. I'm sorry. Actually, they probably are 60K, but they have war defense victories.
Oh, you mean the whole
absolutely-
team, not individually? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Yeah.
I just-
Yes, exactly. Hi, Dominic, free to play player. Nice. 2.6 mil TCP. Very nice to meet you.
No,
Whatever.
that's okay.
But they have won before, which is hilarious. They have defensive victories, which
Oh, yeah,
makes
I'm sure they
that
do because
so
you
funny.
cannot underestimate
You
that team
cannot.
at any level.
Absolutely not. We'll also make yeah. So I probably would have spent some money there, like straight up, but I was like, whatever. I don't really care too much. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing to get my Phoenix, like, whatever. And here we are, missed the chance. I'm not they have, I think they had another offer recently, right? Or no, am I mistaken?
They've had a few offers.
Probably.
Yeah.
They've rotated it back in twice.
Yeah. I don't give a shit now,
Well, I mean, if you got her, so here's an inherent problem with like those offers. Unless you've got her like at the threshold of 50 or 100,
Exactly.
those offers don't get you any value until the next time they roll around. So,
Mhm.
and the inherent cost. So, do you guys know? I've done the math. It takes about $780 to take a unit from if you buy it outright day
Right.
one with the offers.
Yeah.
$780
Which is very,
that's a lot of money for a character on a game.
to go to 7 reds.
but like, even so though, it's a lot of money for a character in a game that I do like mobile. I like mobile. I am not an anti-mobile gaming person. It's a lot of money for a game on my phone that's not I'm not playing this and like on my 4K screen. Well, I mean, I do when I like obviously emulate it, but like I'm not playing it to the utmost, like the best it could be, right? And like any of the other games I play that I only pay $60 for,
Mhm.
and then I have the whole game. And I said it before, I do get it. They're a mobile company. They have to make money somehow, but like, is that the way?
I
Like,
don't understand where it became like the norm for that to be.
Farmville.
I mean, you guys tell me.
Farmville.
I've only been
Farmville.
playing.
I can tell you the
Farmville.
story. Farmville. Blame all the people on Facebook who bought seeds and water so they can make their farm grow.
Huh.
But that's the evolution of the games. And I was talking
Right.
with this with Schuberger, who's really against the loot box scenario because the fact that it's spread.
Sure.
It's, in Australia's been at the forefront of this too.
Yeah.
But it's some of the stuff has been predatory, but it's been predatory for a long time, and it's become integrated into our society. So let's look at kind of like the quick origin. I'll give you guys a quick 2-minute diatribe, and then
please.
I'll
Yeah,
get
sure.
back on track. So you got if you think about it, WoW and Diablo, kind of the big games that were out for a while, and they had third-party resellers from either gold sellers or
Yeah.
or
It's my favorite spam in chat.
gold. So gold resellers, and more importantly, you were able to buy gear, like if you're rare gear, because you had trading in Diablo 2. So that market, there was D2 JSP, which So what happened was, for the right reasons, I think Blizzard had their eyeballs on that money and saying, this is going to people that maybe slave labor. There might be some,
100%.
So let's talk about how maybe we can capitalize on that. So they introduced currency available, and then the real money auction house in Diablo 3.
Oh, that was the best time I've ever had.
Was it really? Because I made a ton of money.
Oh
there,
yeah,
but-
I was botting. Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's done now. I was botting and just selling shit.
okay.
It wasn't much, but it was enough.
I didn't bot. I was the number 2 player to kill Infernal Diablo, and I was like, I was like,
Well, yeah, that's dope. I was.
my wife, we would go out there. My wife would be like, "How do you get lucky with all those drops?" And I'm like, "I don't know, just a seat there."
Just to see things. Oh God.
which we'll get into later outside of all this. Yes.
We'll talk about it. So and then if you think about it, then we have the advent of the social gaming environment. All right, and so smartphones come out, social gaming's out.
Right.
Facebook is the first avenue that all this stuff gets released, and if you didn't know, Facebook is the devil. But
Yeah.
So
I'm not on it anymore.
that's I joke, but the fact things like Farmville and stuff like that were predatory. I mean, you saw people spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the on the game. So the gaming community as a whole was like, well, here we are. We're lucky to sell what we produced. What it cost us to produce a video game. All right. Think about how many Clarence video games and from like 2004 to 2013 we saw, and we still see. All right. So they had to create things like DLC. We saw that integrate, become part of the market. So there was an after process when games got released. But mobile games started, Zynga. These mobile games started really capitalizing on the market and making a lot more money to the point where they got everybody's attention and said, what are they doing? Well, things like planned obsolescence, and things like artificial scarcity, all these type of things where monetizing time spent and rewarding people for watching ads. So all these elements that have been trickling into our gaming industry that we've accepted over time, it wasn't just they just turned the faucet on. And then there's actually been some obviously high profile gaming studies.
Yeah.
That behind the scenes that they created these algorithms. And if you haven't gotten a chance to take a look at the Science Direct article, the 13 most predatory algorithms out there that really kind of say that we're kind of in their petri dish and we're their experiment, and they've been experimenting on how to extract money from us in some not so okay ways.
Yeah. 100%.
Send me a link to that. I want to read that.
Yeah, I want to read that.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
We'll include that in the
show
link.
notes. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so that's interesting. Anyway, what were you talking about?
I just think it's odd. Okay,
Sorry.
no, it's fine. It's fine. You have a gaming company, right, that has a game. I'm actually curious because that the Fox 6 employees don't make that much money. This money's going back to the top, okay? And I just wonder if they actually know what it feels like to have to drop $750 fucking dollars to get a character to 7 stars, and how scummy it feels to spend that money. I mean, I understand that most of the whales, you make enough money to where it probably doesn't matter. It's inconsequential. For some people, it is, and it ruins their lives on these games. And people have definitely had that because, again, it's a gambling thing. And well, maybe not with the gold stars, but it's just to me, it just doesn't make sense that it became acceptable for this to be the case. And the DLCs are one thing, but dude, characters on a game for that much money is just scummy.
I think people need to remember that, and this is a thing that I think is difficult for specifically the gaming community. My chair is falling and I keep getting lower, and it's really funny to look at. That these
I'm shrinking.
These studios, these developers, these companies, they're not our friends. And everyone is so very upset with Blizzard right now, which get it. I don't know. Just real quick, Warcraft 3 Reforged is a shit show right now. A lot of people are said this isn't my Blizzard. They would never blah blah blah. They've changed Activision. These people are not our friends. They're not here to just happy. Exactly. And it's cool when you see a developer do the right thing. You see they who just got whatever, any game that comes out, it's there's no loot boxes, things are only cosmetic you
Respawn.
For. Yeah, Respawn does a very good job at it, right?
In EA with Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, so it's nice when that happens, but again, they're here to make as much money as they can before the game finally dies, and I think this needs to be reiterated for people.
Well, I mean, so I think, if you think about it, how did it happen? We kind of just talked about it. But why is it still happening? Well, this is a major IP.
Oh, yes.
Right? So there's an expectation. So there's probably people that are driving behind the scenes, investors that probably put some money into this project that want to get their
money back.
Their
return on
money
investment.
back. Yeah. So you have to feel that there's some pressure from there. So maybe Fox Next people aren't millionaires. There are probably people among them that might become millionaires because, that they're driving force. And there's probably some things and we'll go over it after. I think we'll go over after because I don't want to put our tinfoil hat on too much.
I love it.
But I'll tell you that there's probably some things that you should know is that there's, some of these things that they're testing on us, which might be the raid difficulty.
Yeah.
Maybe they were turning it on already. Maybe we didn't know they turned that dial and didn't tell us, which is, by the way, what I took from that was hey, they already have a dial. They turn that dial every once in a while already when people are like, wait a minute, did this get harder? No. You're imagining that.
Mm-hmm. We don't have the data.
These are not the raids you're looking for.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So you got to wonder if it's already in the game and they're like, no, we're going to make it a feature now.
Didn't somebody see it in a data mine or something?
A while ago.
So it's there, and we understand that there's some. The game itself, the gaming community's gone the route. I don't want to shame them too much. thanks for the direction. You guys got good people working for you. We'd like to keep them employed.
Yeah.
But I know quite a few people that are like, this is the last straw. If we can't get this right, we're gone.
Yeah.
We're gone.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're being unreasonable. We're not saying, hey, you know what? Give us everything for free. No.
Exactly. And I've seen that, man, like the critics to the spending freeze has been like, you just want everything. It's like, no, I don't just want. I've just waited a year to get 2 characters. Like clearly, like I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like
I just don't think those people really read it. Or they don't care. Like they're not, like maybe they play too many games and they're not as invested as people like us or the people that are in this strike. And
I mean, so I think the opposing voices have a reason, right? They're being told that, hey, these things don't work.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the voice of the whales. These guys are upset with the fact that we're getting the gold credits. They're being told things that aren't accurate. I mean, the timing of that is unfortunate. And yeah, maybe it's just another, the straw that broke the camel's back, but it wasn't the impetus behind this in any way, shape, or form. It's been talked about for a long time, bringing Dismal and Faith to the table to really kind of go over this. And more importantly, everybody in the community, a lot of other alliances have stepped up. I mean, go, if you guys haven't seen the living,
it's wild. It's wild.
It's out there. And if you guys want to get behind it, get on it, get in the Discord, hang out, learn about it. We're going to get you that information, but this is the voice of the resistance here. Viva la resistance. It's here. We get it. We get that you guys are all feeling the same thing, that you're only being tied to the people around you. But yeah, I think it's a symptom of the gaming industry as a whole, and especially with a major IP. And I think people are just kind of nervous that this is going to be more of the same when the Scopely.
Well, don't buy Scotty.
Don't buy Scotty.
I for a couple of years now, I've been worried that this is the way things are going to be in general for the gaming industry, not just mobile gaming. And you are seeing it. It is very nice that some companies are doing better about it. But unfortunately, there is a trend here. Like a lot of these places, a lot of companies, they're realizing that nerds have money. And you see this too in media. Like how many, we have new Star Wars trilogy, how many Marvel movies are existing. Like we have money to spend, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, we're starting to see that bleed into our video games and in all facets, right? And it really sets the tone, or mobile gaming specifically really sets the tone there, because every mobile game is like this. I have friends that play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and Jesus Christ, like talk about a money spent, or like what Contest of Champions or Future Sight, any of these games, and it's just crazy that this is such a in mobile games specifically, this is such a norm, is spending all this money to play.
Yeah, it's like a standard. I mean, that's why people are making games just to make money, essentially. I mean, which I understand. I get, it's capitalism 101, but still, it's like, why would you try to take advantage of people, who might have these problems? Maybe it would be hopping around for one or the other.
So the gambling thing is there, but they're also selling your information. They're also collecting and selling your information. Also your gaming profile is out there. So if you spend money on something, and I personally know this because I get contacted on the regular, hey, try my game out, Remenex. We'd like for you to be part of our beta test.
Yeah. It's and that's funny. That's a whole nother can of worms you just brought up with them.
Yeah, right. Listen, we're not going to go into that one in this podcast. I'm sure I'll give these guys. I'll let these guys into my my conspiracy theory. I'm not radical. I digest it from a business perspective.
Oh, 100%.
And I look at it and I said, I don't mind supporting a video game that I enjoy playing. And when I started playing Marvel Strike Force, it was back with the the stars. I knew there were some people behind the game that I wasn't sure I wanted to invest in, because they were people I knew from Diablo 3 Real Money Auction House. I'm not going to name names.
Wait. You don't have to name names, but you just said there are people from Foxnix that are from Diablo 3?
Oh yeah. Dude, it's
specifically some of the inheritors of the auction house.
They were part of the design team. You could probably Google it and figure it out.
Don't say anything.
It's not a tinfoil hat. If I could tell you that one dude worked on that project and is now working on this project, and he holds a high level title in the community, you'll probably know.
Yeah, it's just connect the dots. investigative journalism ish.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, so
Really
it's
think about
we can go, and again, just because it's the first time you guys have heard about it, I'm not going to bombard you with this information, but
Yeah.
it's something that I've been in the gaming community for a while. I play a ton of games, hence my dynamic physique.
you're perfect, baby. Don't ever change.
Well, I'm never going to change. That's the problem. So
Dynamic
Love it.
physique.
so
yeah.
Very
Gosh,
passionate
sorry,
dude about
that was it.
That might be the title there. For the
my
whole
dynamic
episode.
physique.
My
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 dynamic
dynamic physique.
Although right now the one that's in the running is the you want an apple? Here's a cookie. You want an apple pie? Here's a cookie. That one's a good one.
I really do like if you want an apple, here's a cookie. That's pretty fucking funny.
But I know we've kind of gotten big and off topic quite
I never do that.
quite a lot. But I think it was
a relatable topic.
it's all relatable, and I think it's important. I really think it's something that like it's a big thing that's going on in the MSF community right now, and I think it's important to talk about at length because everybody is like everyone has like like a half a paragraph worth of text on Reddit or Facebook or whatever that people are just kind of like not really diving in deep for these conversations and not understanding what it is. So I'm hoping that with this, like we really kind of give a little bit of light to the situation and what people are trying to do. So if you have any more questions regarding the the spending strike or the boycott or whatever we're calling it, the don't sell Saudi hashtag, everything that not buying the Cyclops uppers, like go check out the Discords. We'll put links in the description below so you guys can see and go join those communities, talk with people more on Reddit, get behind the movement, really just like understand what we're trying to do and trying to send the message. And like, but if you don't want to do it, you know what, you don't have to. It's not It's not a requirement to play this game. It is just like we're trying to get change, and we can only do that by voting with our dollars, and that's how we're doing it. It's like if you don't agree with it, that's fine.
I have one question. Most of our chat in Twitch has been obviously like friends and of us and of the podcast and people who are just agreeing with us. Obviously, there was one question someone had earlier. I'm so sorry, man. I'm gonna Hotchner's head. Yes, thank you so much. Are any of you all only still playing due to sunk cost fallacy?
No. I just love the game, and it's a time sink for me. And I mean, I've been the leader of my alliance since day one. And like Remen was saying, it's my boys, dude. I can't, if I leave, like I can tell you 100% that my alliance is going to fall apart. And I've got some good dudes in
Which
there.
Is fair.
I got 5 guys in my alliance that work for Nintendo at Nintendo headquarters, like high level developers. And it's just been a fun experience. Like the people I've gotten in touch with, I met you guys. I've got my best friend plays this game. Like it's just Dismal. I mean, I know him personally. I reconnected with him, a guy I worked with many years ago, and it's just, it would really make me sad if all of this fell apart because they're being very foolish and irresponsible with not irresponsible, but I just feel like they're being foolish and ignoring a lot of red flags, honestly.
Yeah.
So sunk costs, part of it. I'll be honest. Part of it's that. I mean, I'd be lying if I said part of it wasn't that.
Sure.
But at its core, I would walk away from it if everybody I knew was, or more importantly, just a few people that I really enjoy playing with.
Sure.
Honestly, if Fate's ever hung up his hat, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gone. And if they, honestly, maybe even Dismal. I talk to Dismal an awful lot too.
Yeah.
I like all the guys.
Dismal's my dude, man. He's a good person, and he really wants to see like this game flourish. And if they can't see that, then that's a problem.
Sure.
And they have so much money to make, dude. And I mean, there's so much more to make. And
and behind the scenes, we got to kind of, and I'm going to say this, none of us know their financial situation.
True.
Let's be realistic. We don't know what the expectation was. So there a lot of things happened that kind of changed the landscape. They were sold as part of the Fox deal to Disney. We don't know what these people were promised behind the scenes as part of their investors and how that movement looks.
Sure.
I'm cognizant of that, and I want to make sure you guys know that when I say these things about Fox Next, I'm cognizant about that. Yeah, I get they're a company, they have to make money. I get it. And I'm not going to tell them that I know better, but I'm going to tell them I know how to spend my money and what's attractive to me.
Totally.
I'm using that lens when I share that to them. And I think it's important because if you guys are thinking about getting part of this Discord or you guys not sure about it, just stop in and say hi, learn about what's happening, get part of the communication and maybe be part of that message. You know,
Really.
again, we're not going to. We don't want everything to be for free, because if you think we're looking for a handout, that's not it.
Yeah.
We want to help you guys find a path to sustainability, a path to growth,
Exactly.
and a path to because we think a thriving community is a growing game.
Yeah.
At its core.
We have another question again. Hotchner's headshot. Thanks for laying it in there, homie. How much longer do you think this whole tug of war will continue before we see whether any of the requested changes are implemented or Dismal/Fates retire completely?
Pretty sure they said this is like the last thing, right? Like that this is kind of the final straw.
We talk. I guess more so. I read this as
when will it end?
like, I think so. Yeah, right.
What
Them?
what answer do you think that will satisfy you? We'll know it when we hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
true. But
True.
yeah, it really could just be like, whether they're giving a sign of good faith, or whether
Yeah.
they're like, we're talking about it, and like, because words are one thing, action's another. So it's like, okay,
Totally.
we're saying we're going to do this, and it's something that I just kind of unrelated, but sort of related at the same time. Before we kind of get into the, I actually do want to spend some time talking about seed theory and all that stuff. But like, one thing I wanted to say is, like, there's been people who are saying like, well, I've known this for X amount of time, and like, this is the reason why. Like, I'm not saying that that I think that the spending strike is bad, because like, I am privy to information, but like, the fact that like the community doesn't know this information, like, you can't get upset about things that are like that you have privileged access to, in the event that like you just happen to know it, or like you have insider information or all that sort of stuff. He's like, well, you shouldn't be upset because this isn't here, or that information is not widely available. It was like, well, if they told us, we wouldn't be upset. And that goes back to what we said earlier of saying like, well, the information that was presented finally to us is like, this is what we're looking for. Just tell us, like, really,
Right.
like, a lot of this information is being withheld because I understand for like, they want to like trickle things out, and they want to like dangle the carrot or do whatever. But like, just if there's more communication on like, hey, this is 6 months out, this is a year out, these are the things we're working on. It's like, it's just an idea, that would be more of like a, for me personally, like, that's more of a sign of good faith than anything else for me. Just be like, okay, like, yes, the dev blog of like, or the blog they posted of like, okay, here's the things that we're working on, the PvP, real-time PvP. It's still in a lot of beta access, but like, that's cool. Like, that's what I want to know. Like, tell us you're working on a danger room. Tell us you're working on a tower
Right.
thing. Tell us you're working on these other
I think they did
other than
Timeline on it.
right.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a timeline. Just give us like information, like, this is what we're doing with the money and resources that we have to make the game more enjoyable. Because then it's just not like, oh, there's a new character blitz coming out next week.
Hey, get excited! We have the leader of the X-Men's out. Let's go. Let's come on and buy his offer, even though there's a big milestones coming up shortly.
Exactly. And I think, and it's interesting because to dive into that, sometimes they do really good with it, and sometimes it's just, obviously it's the garbage. I think the beginning of the ISO 8 conversation was kind of like, it was like, hey, we're doing this new feature.
That scared a lot of people.
It did. But just to talk about the timeline of that, they're like, hey, we're doing this new feature. It's in development. Boom. Right. And then it's like, hey, we're going through testing, and we have a lot of people doing the testing. Testing ends like, oh, you know what? We found out there was a lot of bugs. There's a lot of problems with it. We're going to fix it. Like, that was an actual timeline of events that we had constant communication of throughout the whole thing, which, regardless of ISO 8 is garbage or not, like, forget that, whether that's good or not. It was a consistent conversation. Now, obviously, there's no conversation because who knows what's going on with it. But I think that like stuff like that is what I want.
I'll give them a little carrot there. I'll give them a little thing. Somebody leaked some information, and they were part of the NDA process, so that caused a lot of havoc. They probably could have been a lot more. It could have been a lot more
like stingy with information.
I think if they so the testing group, I think, got canceled. I mean, but somebody had leaked a lot of information about it, like the whole entire like package had been was shared with the community by some. I don't know.
Really, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember reading into it. Yeah, it was like the whole like, hey, here's how you do this mode with ISO 8, and it outlined everything.
So
got it.
So when U7 came out, I called it from the beginning. I said, this is tuned for ISO 8s.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely feels like it.
So that has been clear that their timeline got altered because of that. And then when we talk about the letter that Cerebro put out, the other thing that I see with the language is when he says something like, hey, we have new challenges that are going to require G14. They're going to require high red stars, and that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
They're going to be what's stimulating you to get the ISO 8s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what's going to push you to like, oh, how do I progress in this game? I can't buy, my RNG isn't great for red stars. My RNG, all my characters are maxed out. They're all 75, tier 14. They're all sitting at 100K, but I still can't get these things. What do? ISO 8.
I got to get ISO 8s on my blaster team, my city team, my other teams that are required to complete these challenges, because we all know that's a big deal.
I guess Ravager Bruiser to make them worthwhile.
Yeah, it's just
maybe that's
Yes.
I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on. Maybe they got an ISO 8 for that Ravager Bruiser and Stitcher that makes them God mode.
Well, they probably did at one point. From what I understand on stats, but now they said they're going to can that, and he's going to be in obscurity. They're going to delete him from the game files. I won't be upset. I may have taken him. So if you guys don't know my motto, I do things so you don't have to.
Beautiful.
So I made the investment. I brought him up to I think 70 and gear tier 13.
Dude, that's
and I said, you know what? Let's see what he still sucks.
Yeah. That's perfect.
No, he's dead.
The thing about
service, sir.
Yeah, the thing about if they delete, like what you just said, if they
Happy to
deleted
do
him,
my service.
if they deleted him completely, then you wouldn't get that third 7 red star. So you'd be
no,
even
because
happier.
they get that on that, man. I would probably you'd probably visit me in the hospital for an aneurysm.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you got that,
they would probably like these veins that go in my head.
Yeah.
When I get a little angry.
Why is the Ravager Bruiser not better? Oh my God.
Why is he bleeding on his screen, guys? Oh, that's terrible. Somebody call
It's
a
like
doctor.
what was that comedian that in like the middle of his stand up, he had a heart attack and fell, but it was like funny the way he fell, and everyone was laughing, thinking it was part of the bit. It would be it would be just like that.
Was that the Chevy Chase falling out of the Christmas tree?
No, I forgot who it was. But he like straight up had a heart attack on stage, and that was
that's bad.
Yeah,
no bueno.
Nothing better.
Anyway, so continuing on an hour 10 into this conversation about
oh my God, we're at hour 10.
Hey, do you know what? It's
here, so
time flies when you're having fun.
Like we said, this is going to be a short one. It's good. Normally we like to keep these to like to under an hour and a half and whatnot, just mainly for a time perspective, because we don't like to rant and rave and all that kind of stuff.
I love rant and raving.
I feel like everything's been worthwhile and everything has been justified with what we're talking about. So anyway, I want to get into the meat of the conversation. We'll kind of gloss over.
Wait, we haven't gotten to the meat yet.
No, we haven't.
We haven't.
Well, I think we're halfway there.
We're halfway there. It's just
not a prayer.
There's just obviously like the reason why we bring other guests on and people we in the community in the spotlight who play Marvel Strike Force is because like we like to have different perspectives on different things, and I like talking to other content creators, other people who have a kind of investment into it for their own reasons and everything like that. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, Remen, was about the seed theory and everything that so we have the document you posted on your Discord, which I can also include a link to your Discord so people can go and take a look at it and to talk more about seed theory. But this is really what brought about your desire to kind of see, pull back the curtain and see behind the lens, essentially, to see what was going on. Was it because of you kind of recognize the algorithm as based on other algorithms that have been out there, or was it mainly because of this person worked on this game and therefore I kind of understand where it was from previous games, that kind of thing? Because like as we've said in other podcasts, like everyone thinks that random is random, but random is not random whatsoever.
No,
and
especially not in games like this, because they're trying to produce a behavior.
Yes,
right? They're trying to create a behavior, and we've known this for a while. But I'm going to go behind the scenes and let's talk a little bit about it, because Red Stars came out. And I played a lot of games where there were gotchas, and there were a lot of these other factors where there were these drop rates for legendaries and all that type of stuff, and we've seen a lot of that, right? That's the jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
So, truth be told, when Red Stars first came out, I think my first 5 Red Star was Nobu. My first 6 Red Star was Korath, who, by the way, I took successfully through as number 33 on the leaderboards to Fear the Dark Dimension. He was my 5th man.
Dang.
And I beat all people's DPS because I figured out feed Minerva energy and she wins. So yeah. so you got to talk about Nobu, because that was like my experience.
Right.
I had some of the worst Red Star luck, and I was looking at other folks, especially content creators, especially people who were buying a lot of red stars, and I had some access to what they were doing, and we kind of, just from collectively, honestly, I'll be honest with you, the greatest source of information for me to kind of figure this out, to kind of understand what was going on, was watching Casino's streams.
Yeah.
Was kind of watching if he was ever in a seed, or was it, well, where was the lever? Because I'm kind of that person who's analytical mind.
Mhm.
If you guys have ever done so I'm like, I have like these 5 talent themes, and one of them is analytical, because I sit there and I kind of analyze things, and you'll probably get a little piece of that when you watch my stream, that I kind of analyze, and I try to get that information out to you, the teams that I put some investment in. I test things because, it's my mad laboratory of sorts. So I tried the crane theory.
Yeah,
I don't want to tell you how much I invested in the crane theory.
True.
we had a very brief stint of where we were like, hey, this crane theory is cool, and then it worked twice, and we're just like, no, it's just completely.
Wait, what was the crane theory?
So the crane theory was, there was a position in which you can pull.
I still do it.
You still do it?
I still do it.
You might as well start pulling the seed theory.
You press the button? No, I don't know.
So basically, you're looking for a position. Basically, there's a staggered point, because the game's like telling you pull here, because that's where the money drop is. It's kind of like if you're playing the
it's just a bullshit tick,
like the claw or something like
It's
that.
like
the claw game.
like
So the idea is
yeah.
the crane position tells you that where the big drop's going.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well,
That's what my girl.
to be fair, I did a lot of tests. I asked a lot of people where it was, and nobody got it right. Nobody could tell me the same thing, and I tried all their stuff, and it didn't work. And I asked people, what was happening. So then I watched a lot of videos, and I watched a lot of the kind of like the behavior. There's a guy out there. His name is Running Accident. He put some of his videos out there,
Mhm.
and I stopped and I looked at what he was doing. Like, he would level up a like he didn't even know he was doing it, and I was like, whoa. He just got another 6 red star. Then I watched Casino's video.
Yeah.
And I go, what is he doing? Oh, he just pulled a 6 red star. What happened there? Well, that wasn't the crane. Well, now that when they put the announcement in the game and the people had got it, I'm like, what'd you guys do? How many did you open? What'd you do before it?
Yeah.
So it got down to the point where a lot of our folks were realizing that there was something behind what was happening. And it was usually saving a bulk of orbs, because the seed is not always represented by that. But we know, based on the algorithm, and everybody says it's based on when you push the button. Yeah, I get. If you look at the way the algorithm is written, over time the numbers reproduce themselves, because there's no such thing as random number generation through an algorithm, because that's just somebody's interpretation of randomness.
Yeah,
And
100%.
it's easy enough to manipulate based on certain habits, and if you look at it, it's happened in other games.
Yeah, and that's something that anybody who has any sort of programming experience or any sort of computer science background or anything like that can kind of see, because even in computer science or computer languages and whatnot, the random is never random, with the exception of having assembly language, but random is just 1 or 0. That's it. That's the only randomness that you can produce. It's either on or off, that kind of thing. But in terms of a vast number of things, there's still patterns within the randomness that is generated by a computer, because it's basing itself off of I forget what the exact thing is off the top of my head.
Yeah, but it's actually called seeds.
Yes, exactly. So
it's actually called seed. So seed theory is basically that somehow, and some of the games were more simple seeds, were able to figure that out quickly. This is a little bit more advanced, because they're obviously. So I was tying it to potentially, because I had learned about. Well, I knew this person that worked for the company was kind of the money dynamic was behind the scenes, was how how did he want people to spend money, and what. And from a mobile perspective, I played Kabam games before, and I understood how those worked, and it wasn't a surprise to me that something like that could exist. So what it came down to was and I probably refined it actually the past couple of days. What it was there was a spending behavior, spending a resource, and rewarding you for spending a resource, because they knew that's your tie to the game, that's your currency, and that's something that when you're out of it and you need it, you're either going to go buy more or spend more time in game.
Yeah.
So, and both of those are the metrics that they use to make money, right? Either you make it indirectly, or you spend the time in game, and they can say, well, this is our engagement factor. This is how they make the money. Okay. When they sell our data, just behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Not that they actually do it.
Right.
Pretty standard practice.
So
in a way.
Yeah.
So the idea is,
unfortunately,
I came up with kind of what worked. You guys might have seen some, and I have to put a video out, and I apologize. I'm periodically ill. So it's something that goes behind the scenes, and then don't worry, I'll be fine.
Please be fine.
You can't take down this fantastic physique.
That impeccable
the dynamic.
dynamic
Right,
physique.
right.
Dynamic
That's what it
physique. I mean, it's just an object in motion stays in motion. So
Love it.
let's be real. So when we talk about the seed theory, what it came down to was, I thought it was the milestones, but I really think it's spending gold.
Mhm.
Spending gold, using gold orbs, because they have like that 1% drop rate. You can use a couple other ones that have that 1.5% lower drop rate, and then opening 10 in a row. And typically people will be like, oh, I only got a 4 red star. Go look at the chances of a 4 red star, by the
Right.
way.
Very
Yeah.
low.
Still hard.
Out of a basic orb. So if you got 2 4 red star, and by the way, I can't predict dupes. So if you got a dupe, that's welcome to my world.
Yeah.
But that's the reality situation. And so we know they exist. So I broke it down, basically spend gold, use a seed test. And I will tell you, Big Roy Awesome was also the progenitor of the seed theory.
Mhm.
So I'll give him a little bit of credit. I always try to do that because he was, I think you might have been there when he was like, hey, Remnant, it's me, Big Roy Awesome. You got to make sure you tell everybody about me, because I love it, because I want to make sure I don't ever step on anybody else's toes.
Yeah.
But he's done some of his own testing, and he has, to his credit, as a free to play player, he's gotten a few 7 red stars. So
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't wait
Oh,
to
yeah.
test this out.
No, I mean, so basically the bottom line is you get that 350 center drop, you get those parallel the end gold drops, or a center gold drop or higher. Now, mind you guys don't know this, but I also, when I'm spending the gold, I also often get I got in 3 days, I got a 3 million drop from one orb, a 3 million drop from another gold orb, a million drop from the gold orb, and 2 7 red stars in the course of a week.
It's quite good.
And again, maybe I'm just lucky, and there's a rabbit's foot up my ass. I can't see it, I can't reach it, but it could be there.
Well, Remen, I wanted to talk to you about this, but I mean, today, unfortunately, this isn't going to work out because my laptop is about to die in about 15, 20 minutes. But
Okay.
I have like 50 gold, or no, I have about 50 gold, 50 red stars, and 50
Oh, wow.
something premium saved up. And like, I was going to try to do this with you, but like, sometime this week when I'm back on my desktop, I'd love to like walk through this with you, because like I'm super into it. So the way that these guys met me actually is that I had a show all last year where every Saturday morning I opened up orbs on 5 accounts at one point in time. And
Oh wow.
through a year of opening orbs, right? And all of us are, well, technically one of my friends isn't very free to play, but we never bought
Through
red
the
stars, right?
years, I opened up
And
red stars.
They in the course of 1 year of opening up red stars every Saturday, there were a total of there's 1 7 red star and maybe like 3 or 4 6 red stars. Granted, the 7 red star was Nebula, and my friend hates me for it for eternally, but
Well, you can't. I mean, it is what it is.
yeah,
The system.
yeah. But I mean, the thing is that I've always had my own theory that there's like it's random as fuck, and like I guess I'm wrong, and like I really would love to like walk through this and like see how it works, and I'm super interested in it.
So I get, so we'll go through it, because basically, and I did it a little bit with Schuberger last night, and I'm always accessible. You can just ask me, and I'm happy to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And you'll find that you can talk to me anytime. But I'm at work. Who needs money? So I'm happy. I'll take the guys will tell you I'm really accessible, because I like talking to people.
Cool.
And there is a video coming out from me. And if you that I'll actually do, kind of going over it, highlighting this, because I actually have done it twice on stream, where I pulled a 6 red star using the seed theory, and quite a few 5 red. Like the whole seed was like, boom, 4 red star, 5 red star, 5 red star dupe.
It's amazing.
I tell you to open up your elites as you earn them if you're doing the seed theory, because then those are your better chances. So I think it exists. We can go over that. Obviously, there's links here. We can go over that. There's going to be a video coming out. I talked to Mobile about it. He did his impression of it, and it is. He thought he had the seed theory, but I love him to death. A good friend of mine, and
Good. Tell him to come be a part of our podcast. He said that he would upset a few people if he came and did our podcast, so he politely declined.
well, listen, it is what it is. So we'll talk.
You can tell me doesn't have to.
All right.
Love it.
So we'll talk about it, and so the behind the scenes is when we talk about red stars, is I've got quite a few. I think I've got like 37 6 red stars, and like I only have 18 4 red star or lower. The rest is 5 red star.
Right. And that's probably at this point just attrition, right? Just from being in the game for a bit. And like at one point you just earn, right? No?
No.
Okay, got it.
No, there's probably about 4 people in the world that have comparable accounts to mine, and many of them have spent quite a
right. Okay, I'm sorry. I got something in more gold. They're definitely gold star. That's definitely more attrition at this point, not red star.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. So the red star.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm talking 3,
yes,
4 red star higher.
very true.
And
very true.
so the thing about it is, and this is where you're gonna kind of, it'll blow your mind, is I think there has been a wrong message delivered by a couple of content creators about how to use your credits.
Okay.
Like you should never use your promotion credits. Okay. You should never use so let's say you have,
please expand on this.
So let's say you have a 4 red star credit. You shouldn't try to buy a 1 or 2 red star.
I don't think that's a thing. Well, I try to, if I don't have it, I would use it. I mean, I did it for Karnak. I haven't unlocked Karnak yet, but I took him all the way to 3 because I had
using those credits. So think about it. What you're doing is you're taking away that extra chance. So go look at, if you guys got a second, go look at the odds for a 5 red star elite orb to get a good drop.
Don't have it up at this moment
really quickly. It's 1 in 10. 1 in 10 to get a 6 and 2.5 to get a 7.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you aren't earning those orbs, you're taking away your chance to earn those. That's a big difference. Now, I think the 6 red star orb is the least value, the Ravager Bruiser orb.
Yeah.
But I caution people that if you're taking away your 4 red star elite credits and you're taking away your 5 red star elite credits, you're not earning. You're taking away that chance to jackpot a better item.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, if you get a dupe in those orbs, they actually have some value. If you get a dupe in the 6 red star orb, you have to wait years before you actually get to use them.
Yeah, like
back
you
to
said,
$170,000, for 10
Huh.
of those.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So you're welcome, guys. I mean, for those of us who were able to hit that buy button when the offer came out,
just to I think I don't know if I'm confused or not. You're saying to make it easier. Yeah, but to make it easier, is it open orbs or buy with credits?
So you do not buy promotion credits,
Right. Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
with your elite currency.
I think that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I would never. I mean, personally, I would never. Jesus Christ, never. It's never good enough to. In my opinion, I don't get them enough anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, So to give you an idea, when they sold that 5 red star or elite orb, the number of 6 red stars and 7 red stars that were generated by that are huge.
Yeah.
So
fair.
Every
yeah, so you're talking about converting it essentially,
conversion.
Oh yes,
because I'll like with the tokens or whatever that they have that come naturally through whatever process or however that works. I mean, they'll have here's 30 days for $4 promotional thing or something like that. It would be fine.
So those different because you're getting those promotional credits to use as you see fit. You're not converting them.
Correct. Yeah, just not converting everything. Yeah. So I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah. So I said, the only thing is so it's always that debate when you hit those 6 red star elite orb because I've gotten dupes out of it, and if you get a dupe 6 red star out of that orb, it's only 507 red star elite currency.
Right.
So it's a worse. So that's actually I think behind the scenes is the frustration is when these guys. So now you're at the point in your rosters if you've been buying spending for a while where you're not going to see any growth.
Right.
And the fact is now that with the release pace, that 10% rate up for a week. All right. That you get that 10% rate up for the new units. Good luck getting the red stars you need on them. I've seen people pull 80 red stars and not get it. So there it is. I mean,
happened to me almost with every single time that I've done a Whale Wars video, or I had 90 red star orbs saved for Invisible Woman, pulled 0. I had 14 elite credits or orbs saved up, pulled 0. Same with Hela. I had 25 saved up for Hela, pulled nothing. I pulled I think 13 for Cyclops this week, pulled nothing. And they were all essentially 1 or 2 star dupes. I still have about 15 saved.
It's to the point where casinos asked me to come back for a couple of Whale Wars videos, and I'm like, sorry, man, I just can't. I do enjoy the press, but I also do not. I'm not buying that. I refuse.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's I would never go on there because the chances of me pulling something that's an upgrade to get any points is 0.
Exactly.
0, yeah. I mean, I'm starting to get to that point as well.
And he's at that point.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's there.
Well, I mean, he's changed. To be fair, he's now changed it to don't buy. It's called don't buy red stars. That's the
While I
that,
buy Red Stars.
yeah. While I buy
Don't mind me. I'm buying Red Stars.
well,
No.
yeah, exactly.
Do what I say, not what I do.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. I'm doing things that you don't have to. I'm showing you how bad this experience is.
Right.
So I get that, and because I espouse that myself. But from a perspective of so a lot of people who are against the seed theory said, Remen, you're an idiot. It's clearly I would believe you if you said it was tied to your past spending behavior.
Sure.
But you don't think that they introduced something that might encourage you to spend
Sure.
by triggering you because they gave you a reward after you spent gold?
Sure.
That mental reward, the Pavlov's dog. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
You guys have to know how these algorithms work in the gaming industries and more specific to gambling industry. And they're like, well, you're crazy if you think it's like gambling. There have been countries that have actually proved the negative effects it's having on children.
Oh yeah.
People are having to send teenagers into rehab.
Yeah. Gambling.
It's eye-opening
is serious.
because things like, that they're introducing kids to gambling elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said that you are doing a video on C theory, or do you have one?
I'm going to do a video because I've got some accumulated data from my stream time.
Okay.
My only drawback is time between my other job,
Of course.
my family. They got the flu 2 weeks ago. I got sick, the whole 9 yards. So it's just like
we had someone in the stream ask for a quick rundown. I said we'll put that video out, or obviously follow Remenex, and that'll come out when it comes out. Obviously, so
yeah. If you guys hop on my channel on Remenex.tv, you'll see that I have some like a Red Star Elsa opening where I kind of go into some details and go there and
I mean, there's also the document that you have on there that I've posted to a few people who have interested or have had questions about the seed theory.
okay.
yeah,
we
unfortunately,
can
doesn't go into a lot of details.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, because people are like, "What? How do you know what seed to use to test?" I'm going to use my orange lead orbs. No, because there's no indicator on there. There's no jackpot.
Sure.
Yeah,
You're looking for an orb with a jackpot.
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Because that's going to tell you if you're kind of in there. And
yeah. I'm going to try to maybe test it later on today on stream one because I have 27 gold orbs saved up because I've been waiting for milestone. So
we'll definitely hang out. I'll come hang out on your stream a little bit later if I'm not watching the game.
I really wish I had the patience and the self, like, what's the word?
So
I can't.
So you YOLO.
Self-restraint.
You're YOLO.
100%. I have no restraint.
YOLO.
I don't know how I've gone what 5 or 6 weeks without opening a red star, and it's like it's definitely starting to get to me. I'm kind of like,
you're itching.
This shit.
well,
I have enough patience for this game. You know what I mean? Like, I do enough that takes me a long time to do things. The second I get any orb, I'm like, yes, there's I have some kind of reward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm at the point now where I can't really progress, and I've been waiting for the new milestone character to happen before I start pulling all these things and start spending money and energy and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I've been waiting for. So I'm going to open up some gold orbs today, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll pull some.
We'll go over that. I'll go over that in some detail. And like I said, I watched 2 people get high red stars by doing the same behavior last night.
Cool.
So they had them saved up and did it. But just to be fair, not every seed's going to be a perfect seed. You're not going to get, but if you're getting 3 red star and 4 red star, maybe a 5 red star in there, just because they're dupes doesn't mean you're not in a good seed. Not every drop's going to be a gold drop, but when it is, you're going to see you're seeing a higher chance. Now,
ding 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 ding.
so you're saying that. And I'm going to tell you guys one of the other things that I think is interesting is when you go to a casino. I don't know if any of you guys go to casinos.
Oh yeah, craps table.
You guys probably have hit up some of the local casinos in Connecticut. I mean, you have to. That's like pretty much our
only thing we have
these days.
You have nice beaches.
Pizza.
Really nice
Great pizza.
Sorry, I live in
the best pizza. We're going to go into that fight again, but that's okay. No, but when you go to if you go to like the slot machines, what do you guys usually see when somebody hits a jackpot? Right, there's a lot of lights and notifications, and so why do you think they do that?
Oh, it's 100%
that joy that like
triggering dopamine for sure.
Now, for the people around you, what does that do?
It's advertisement.
Envy.
Yeah.
So when they added that script in the game where it showed you, so and so pulled 6 and 7 red stars, and you don't think that there's some gambling ties to this game?
Yeah,
maybe you're wrong.
Right.
Maybe I'm right.
100%. I'm with you.
Maybe I'm crazy.
Nah, you're not crazy at all.
We have to.
We see it for sure. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for going over that. I was very curious. We're gonna run through some of this while we still have Krondo, since he's living.
He's dying.
He's dying. He's living on the edge.
I'm dying, guys.
But anyway, so we normally we do like a recap and what's coming, but we've talked a lot about recaps and all that sort of stuff. So we'll save that for next time. But the other topics we want to talk about is love it or hate it, in which we talk about one thing we love, one thing we hate about the game. So, and we always say about what we love and hate about the game. So Remen, what is it that you love about the game right now?
So the thing I'll tell you I love about the game is pretty much the community. I like playing with
everybody.
Everyone does it.
I mean, and sure, I mean, everybody's gonna. I think that's the message I want to say is, and I've been kind of a strong advocate for a while about like introducing something like a friend unit or a friends list. I'm glad that's kind of been
Totally,
because I've actually been pushing hard behind the scenes for that. Is hey, listen, a lot of games where you have a gotcha element, like these new players start up and they want to say, hey, my buddy Remen X, I can use his unit instead of one of my craptastic units in a raid, and he's going to help me progress through some scenarios. That's a good new user catch up mechanic. That's a great way to advertise it, and a great way for people to feel like, hey, I'm his buddy. He's going to give me his biggest dude. He's going to give me one of his 7 Red Star Pyro. Yeah, let's go.
Right.
But that's kind of what that's kind of the element that I think is so love about the game. Community, playing with the folks I like playing with. I've been a part of Pantsa Hulk and Cabal, and just behind the scenes with those the great white mammals that live under the sea.
What's one thing that you hate about the game right now?
I think one thing I hate about the game is I hate how the community always tends to, for all the positive of the community, that divides themselves between people who spend money and have to wear the free-to-play badge.
Sure.
And I don't think that's fair. I think there's all that artificial competition.
Right.
We're all playing a game to have fun, and if you want to spend your money, you're more than welcome to. And if you don't, you're more than welcome to.
Right.
But it shouldn't be how we differentiate each other.
100%. I couldn't agree anymore. Like, I'm a free to play player, but I've always said, like, if you want to spend money, it's up to you. So like, it's not like it affects me besides what Foxhunt does after you spent money. Like, that's like the only real thing, but yeah. All right.
Well,
we're all in this together.
We are all in this together. We've kind of gone into Red Stars a little bit. So you said you pulled another 7 Red Star this week, right?
Oh, so you guys want my weekly Red Star pull?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it.
Let's say I got a 6 Red Star Mysterio.
All right.
I got a 7 Red Star Crystal. I got a 7 Red Star Hawkeye.
Dang.
I got what else did I get? I got a couple of 6 Red Star dupes because that it's just the way my world happens.
Yeah.
But
that is definitely first world problems right there in this game.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
Are you?
No, you're not. It's okay. You don't have to be kidding.
Yeah. No, I am on YouTube. There's a little bit of rebranding phase coming through, by the way, guys.
Okay.
So if you guys my video, so I am Focus Up Gaming, which will soon be Remen X.
Mm-hmm.
The team that I had behind helping me do some videos is kind of dissolved. So we're in a little rebranding behind the scenes, and that's one of the reasons why the video's also been delayed.
Sure.
Just trying to get that channel name back up and replace it with Remen X.
Cool. Cool. What do you have for us for like, I'm sure at your level with their TCP, war must be a completely different experience than what we all have here. But I'm curious as to what, if you have any war advice or anything like that.
Yeah. Don't use Black Bolt against Hela right now until he's fixed. So if you guys didn't know about that, one of the things we discovered was that Black Bolt was causing a dead script to happen when he was killing Hela and Hela's allies. Was periodically a minion would spawn, but if there was no Hela during that phase, the game would lock up and freeze in war. So
Jesus. Yeah, don't do that.
Good.
So don't do that.
So that was a bug. But other than that, like I said, if you guys want some behind the scenes secrets, I do often. I saw on Focus Up Gaming, you'll see I will do some like a new team versus. So I have been using the Inhumans against Asgard. They are exceptionally a good counter team. If you have Black Bolt, he is the meat and potatoes of that team. I think we probably solved the problem of Coulson.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. There's plenty. I've done Inhumans with Ultron against Coulson. I've done Inhumans with Ultron against Asgardians. I was able to do a big punch up against there's a 390k team, Asgardian on defense. Their barracks was still up. Our armory was down. I think my team was like 313k. Easily won that fight with all. It was essentially I don't have Karnak yet, but I swapped out Crystal for Captain Marvel and just wiped the floor with the Asgardians.
Yeah.
So like wasn't even close. I think.
That's a good team. So let's just talk a little about it. So it's going to depend what world's a little differently based on your TCP. So if you're at 3.5 million plus, I'm going to recommend you take your AIM team off of defense. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm still seeing a lot of folks with AIM on defense. They are a hard counter to a lot of teams, and especially let's say you have a Coulson in security.
Mhm.
If you put that T4 in Assaulter and position the team right where you go Scientist Supreme, Assaulter, Graviton, Monstrosity, Security.
Yeah.
And you have that T4 in there, Scientist Supreme goes first, flips those D down to a D up, and then you proceed to slowly dismantle that team.
Oh.
That's a really good idea.
I feel like AIM is slept on a lot. I feel like
Oh,
when AIM
it
AIM
is.
is a I'm a fan of that team.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, and there's also Aimtron
Right,
that,
right.
that eats Asgard. So so bottom line is, if you haven't, and that's what I'm kind of leaning towards. If you haven't taken your AIM off defense, please do. You're hurting yourself.
I'm 100% going to try that out in the next war. Next time I
Sure.
run across
Yeah.
a Coulson team. And now,
Mhm.
now, do you think like in terms of with an okay? So I don't have the Salter. I've got a 6 red star researcher, so that's what I use instead. What do you think in terms of like punching up or punching down that team can handle against the Coulson squad?
They're probably going to be closer to like a punch across, and it's going to also depend a lot about when I go into war, I talk about armory barracks up. That factors in a lot.
Sure.
The damage potential, the resist factor, especially with a team that has base resist that are going to be off the wall because of the nature of their legendary character. You have to take a lot of that into account. So the reason why I say that is because a lot of folks will struggle with a supernatural with defense down,
Yeah.
which has been another preferred method to take them out, because all that the defense down means that you can accidentally have a shield security pop your Doctor Strange before you get a chance to act with him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's something that you have to be
Yeah.
mindful of. So another thing we talk about is a lot of these counters. We talk about Element of Ruin, right? So not that I have a gambling mentality, but the Element of Ruin comes into effect when any team can lose more than 20% of the time, and that is if any set, like for Asgard, if the counter can lose more than 20% of the time, or even at 20, it isn't a good enough counter, because you know how valuable those war attacks can be if you're spending to earn them, right?
Mhm.
Because that's you're just basically pacing yourself against your opponent.
Right.
So things like like for instance, some of the teams that came out with like featured Minerva and Ultimus. Well, if Minerva's targeted, pop. We had the same problem with Fantastic Four using against Asgard. If this woman got targeted, pop.
Mm.
You
Power
have
the same way with Rescue.
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of at this point you should probably Power Armor maybe best reserved for something else or mixed in there. But a team like replacing Thing with Drax makes that team an actual 100% win rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So just some caveats, but my thing is I call it the high IQ teams. I got a lot of fun stuff on there. I'm probably taking Marauders off, even though I have a 500K Marauders team.
Yeah,
I'm taking them off of defense.
Interesting. All right. Who do
They're
you
not-
use
they're
in
not-
play?
they're-
Who do you use as your fifth right now?
As my fifth, I either use Kingpin, Merc Lieutenant, or Minerva. I play around with it, trying to test to see what's happening.
Yeah.
And they're not getting enough defense wins for the amount of power they represent.
right,
Knowing that I play them better
right.
than the AI.
So
does.
what-
Have you
what do-
tried subbing in Cable in there as your fifth for the turn meter rewind and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it doesn't do enough.
I'm
Okay.
curious.
And I have a 6 red star, 7 star Cable with full. So I've done a lot of testing, and Cable does a lot better on it. If you still have Ultron on defense, if you use Cable, you might still get a win. I'm just
Interesting.
going to say that right out there.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
nice.
curious, what's countering your Marauders team like that? Because at 500K, I mean, that's a beast mode team. So I mean, I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, but you
Biggest-
remember the league, the other.
Oh,
He's
I know,
doing it
but
right
I mean,
now.
I just don't know what teams really go well against.
No, but we'll talk about it. So one of the things you're going to find is the typical teams that counter it are going to be like Defenders, believe it or not, because Defenders just eat through the
Villain type.
villain teams, right?
Right.
The fact that they can also counter a lot of the buffs that you're going to be getting
Mhm.
to the team and cleansing the bleeds that Sabretooth accidentally leaves behind.
True.
So that's really kind of the problem. The other problem is, and this is an inherent problem with their releases as of late, is they're releasing things like a war defense team. Boy, that's the most unrewarding.
Oh my god.
yeah.
That is the most unrewarding thing, to not even know how your team
Do you know,
performs.
you know how much a bump? Like, I'm getting my 6. I'm going to be able to get my 6 red star. My Coulson, luckily, is 5 red star. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, you got to put that 6 red star in the Coulson." I don't want to.
No.
I don't want to. It sucks. I don't want to do it because I don't ever play him. He doesn't get I don't touch
Yeah,
him. It's a bummer to do.
The only thing he does is work on war, and that just takes away his value. And by the way, the red stars don't matter as much as you think to do on him. Yeah, I guess it's the focus for his, but no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It would be really
Which you got-
cool if there was a way that they could capture the fight and then we could watch it afterwards. Because I know it's a little bit trickier for them to program it to where they can actually view like a live combat fight, because since it's a server side thing. But it would be really cool if like they could stash that somewhere as a VOD and we could just like watch it, you know?
It's not like other games are doing it. Disney Arena. So I'm just Disney Source Arena.
Right.
So, but I joke about that, but I'm saying we're seeing this in other games that are coming out
Yeah.
with similar collector format.
So why
for sure.
can't
That being said, the biggest problem you have with that team is Strife. Okay, so Strife fails that team at a high level because he's been designed and balanced around his bonus health. So why he's not a raid tank is because he's getting the bonus health on defense, because that's how they had to balance him, because of how the team works. And by the way, they've been out for how long has Strife and Sinister been out?
Not
3
long.
months.
Yeah.
3
Right?
months, and they don't have the fifth member.
Right.
Yeah.
or a way to farm them?
No.
Orbs, man. Orbs.
Oh,
Everything's
yeah,
farmed over
orbs,
orbs.
dude.
Sorry,
What are you talking
sorry,
about?
Pat. I didn't know your amazing way to farm characters in this game. I'm just not that good.
Strife is really
My
awfully
create
high
theory
on
doesn't work properly. Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean I have him at 6 red star. I haven't unlocked it. I haven't gone in, and I haven't gone down the since Hella. Believe it or not, I stopped. I think I stopped at Hella.
Got
And I
it.
really just
Yeah, fair.
so
and moving on, we'll do. That was actually really good advice. So
That's
I'm
great.
gonna combine the war advice with the team advice, just because
Yeah.
we're a little over end time. But what
I
is
never
your
do that.
favorite character in the game right now, Roman?
my favorite character, only because of the fun factor, is Mr. Sinister.
No, finally, it's not Hella. Thank you.
No, I mean Hella does a lot for raids, and she does a lot of cool things, and she's decent damage.
Yeah.
But see, I built a kind of a high IQ U7 team, and it's a lot of fun to play.
Ooh, I want to hear
It's
about
Phe-
this.
Yeah, would you-
Phoenix, Colossus, Mystique, Mr. Sinister, and Magneto.
Oh,
All right, because you get the bonus health.
Wow,
you get
this-
double down
this
on
is very
bonus health
interesting.
for the health that you can actually blind on turns. You open up, so anytime you're going to stealth with Phoenix, you're blinding.
Whoa.
They line up that way.
Whoa.
The way you have to do it is you prioritize. So there's a 3 method. You for clones, you're going to prioritize a battery like JJ. You're going to prioritize a member of the Marauders, and you're going to also prioritize a buffer, somebody like especially Hand Sentry who can spread that.
That's a cool. That's a
all right,
that's
all right,
different.
Who could
I'm throwing it
Who
out there.
could-
Remen with the 200 IQ on that one.
who could spread the evade around. So basically, by turn 3, when you're actually going to wait till turn 3 to taunt with Colossus, he'll have 4 or 5 evades on him, and he's taunting with the evades, and then you've got Mystique who can flip buffs now, because I've fully invested in her.
yeah. Wow.
She flips those buffs, dropping the offense down. You've got so much value on that team, and by the way, anything that they bring to the fight, you can now have.
Sure.
So if you have your red star, if you've Sinister, significant red star, 4 red star higher, 5 or 6 star, I would recommend that team. If you can bring the complementary team up too. But like I said, it just does so much work, and I can hit auto on it. And the worst I have to do is res Phoenix. It's called the Phoenix tax. I've used it when I beat. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
we call that in Cabal when we beat U7 that it was the Phoenix tax. It was really kind of like what we had to do to get through U7 the first few times. But it was just the way it was. I had that Femme Fatale team that I had that was basically a sustained team. You could walk away and they'd still be there kicking their node's ass.
Right.
But
Yeah, that's interesting. I've been using the Yo-Yo Black Bolt, Scientist Supreme, and
Hella.
Hella. Sometimes Hella. Sometimes I'll sub in Captain Marvel, depending on, because their Hella is only like 51K, and my Captain Marvel is like 70K. So it's just fun for just for the early notes. I'm just experimenting, but I'll try that team. What was that team one more time? Just like
So
I'm gonna write it down.
it's in this position. It's going to be Phoenix on the outside, Colossus.
Uh-huh.
So those of you guys who haven't had a chance to farm Colossus will be excited this week. It'll be coming out. Mystique, because she gets that stealth and does that, you won't be able to chain in there. Then
Mhm.
you have Mr. Sinister and Magneto.
Interesting. That's a good lineup. I'm gonna try that. I mean, my
Pretty
Mr. Sinister is not that great, but I've been wanting to work on him because he's really good with Arena, I suppose. Because literally everybody who I fought has Mr. Sinister on defense. So I've been trying to work on him a little bit more. But I think I only have three red stars at the moment. So hopefully, maybe I'll get lucky this week. We'll see. So
Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely we'll probably hang out at some point.
C3, let's go, baby.
yeah, 100%. We'll see.
Don't buy Scotty.
Yeah, 100%. So I think we're kind of doing the Q&A as we were.
I got them all that were there.
We're kind of live and whatnot. So, but anyway, Remen, thank you very much for coming on and spending your Sunday morning with us to talk Marvel Strike Force, Seed Theory, and all the boycott stuff that was going on, and giving more of like a long platform or giving a more of a long-winded discussion about the platform and the reason why, everything like that. Because I feel like we said earlier, I feel like it's very easy just to throw like a sentence or a paragraph at it and be done with it. It's like really these long-form conversations really are where people can like explain themselves and explain the theories behind things and explain the reasoning behind stuff.
Totally.
And it gives more of a chance for people to just dissect it and realize what's going on and not just have like a throwaway like, oh well, so and so is doing so and so because they're they want everyone to not have the character. And
and I want the message to kind of stay on point here. It's still I like the communication. It's a start. It's far from over. So if you guys are hearing from whatever thumbnails or whatever videos you're seeing or whatever person's trying to sway your opinion and saying, hey, it's okay, just go ahead and buy it. They're done with their strike because they got one post.
Yeah.
Well, we've all seen the fact, we talked about it earlier, like the Phoenix release and the things they promised us with the team we use, the Mystic controllers, that they would be usable and everything that you invested in. We've been down this road before. We feel like the communication hasn't been accurate, and some of that has been because of maybe and so just that one post isn't enough to say, oh yeah, we're done, we're happy, because ultimately if this message isn't delivered and absorbed and there isn't a significant, and I say significant change, I don't mean that they're going to give us stuff for free, but if there isn't a significant, we can gauge their intentions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we can't significantly gauge their intentions and see positive change, then people are leaving.
Yep. I mean, we see it.
So
we're currently seeing a little.
So the boycott wasn't, that we just want, we're going to throw our hands up and stop spending altogether forever. They still want to give you money.
Yeah, like that's the idea. It's like we're just trying to send the message. We're trying to like use our dollars as the only means of which we as consumers have a voice. So yeah, I know we've been beating it to death in this episode, but I feel like it's an important thing.
Very important.
But anyway, thank you guys very much for coming out and joining us. You can find us on Instagram at og.podcast. Our Twitter is overachieversp. Our website is beingoverachiever.com, where you can get this episode and every episode in which we talk about video games, culinary expertise with Chef over there, how Connecticut pizza is better than Brooklyn pizza.
Why did you say it?
And a bunch of other things.
It is because he knows he knows.
We got both. You
gotta Florida pizza is better than the rest, boys.
No, you can go fuck yourself with that right there. Anyway, thank you all very much.
Real quick, Remen, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm at. I am currently a streamer, more of a amateurish casual. I try to share my information when I get it. Remenex.tv. I am Focus Up Gaming on YouTube. I'm also Focus Up Gaming on Twitter.
Cool.
So
which will be changing at some point, but for now, please keep those in mind.
Yeah,
check
it'll be there.
Out. Cool.
Man, with 200 IQ and what was the name of the episode?
No.
Dynamic physique.
A 200 IQ and a dynamic physique, boys.
So anyway, thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. If you want to come be a part of us live, we're doing this. We'll be twitch.tv/OG podcast going forward in the future. So see you guys in 2 weeks for the next episode. Thanks.
Enjoy your Sundays.
Peace.
Thank you very much.
Help the Niners.
Stay strong. Don't buy Scotty.
Yeah, don't buy Scotty.
# don't buy Scotty.